This is the Global Economic Commodities Scrap Metal and Recycling Report by our Bentley Roll-Off Trailers and Luggage Trucks, January 10, 2022. U.S. weekly crude steel production fell to 1.785 million tons. This was on a slow growth in demand and imports taking market share. WTI crude oil price rose to $79.90 a barrel on constrained U.S. and OPEC production, also on supply concerns in Kazakhstan and Libya. U.S. weekly oil production was steady 11.8 million barrels per day, 1.3 million barrels per day less than pre-COVID. U.S. oil companies have found a terrific sweet spot of lower production, bringing higher prices and record profits. Also note, OPEC is increasing production 400,000 barrels per day per month. The U.S. is down the 1.3 million barrels per day, so that's equal to 3 months of U.S. holding back production. U.S. weekly oil imports, yes, imports, fell to 5.88 million barrels per day. Note that in November 2020, after a 7-year pause, the U.S. restarted importing oil from Russia. Also, there is a false narrative that the U.S. was energy independent in 2020. Many thought we did not import oil. True, oil imports peaked in 2008, but about a third of the oil used in the U.S. today is imported. The U.S. weekly oil rig count rose to 481, down about 40% pre-COVID. Lower rigs bring the higher oil prices and the record oil profits, but higher global inflation. Scrap steel number 1 HMS price fell to about $420 a gross ton. This was on lower demand and steel mills working to support profits. Hot rolled coil steel price fell to $75.39 a hundredweight, which is $15.08 a ton, an 8-month low. This was on a slight increase in demand, but lower priced imports taking market share. Copper price fell to $4.40 a pound on a stronger U.S. dollar, also on easing supply concerns and higher interest rates. Aluminum price rose to $1.32 a pound, which is $29.09 a metric ton, on falling inventories and on supply concerns on production cuts. China's December Caixin General Manufacturing Index rose to 50.9, the highest since June. This was on easing supply constraints and lower inflation. The U.S. November trade deficit increased to $80.2 billion, near the record on record imports with increased crude oil and passenger car imports. Also, we did have record exports, but a slower increase, with travel services being the highest increase. U.S. December vehicle sales fell to 12.44 million on good demand, but a lack of vehicles. Vehicle shortage meant less on sale vehicles, so higher profits for the automakers. U.S. December jobs report, which is new jobs, added a low 199,000. Most were in hospitality, services, and manufacturing. The U.S. December unemployment rate fell to 3.9%, the lowest since February 2020 pre-COVID. Economic recovery continues with a strong demand for labor. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average, it fell 106 points to 36,232 on higher interest rate fears. The lower jobless percent and higher hourly wages increases support for higher interest rates. Safety is number 1 at Bentley. Our roll-off trailers are the safest of the safe. Look up danger signs and hoist up strobe are both standard. Importantly, both can be retrofitted on all older trailers by any manufacturer. Buy both online at the Bentley web store. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope we'll have a safe and profitable week.